It is 2019, the world is hit by pandemic and the dance music scene is suffering, but a new sound is emerging, fusion of old and new, blending electronic beats and urban samples with raw emotion. In the eye of the storm, there is one man standing, Frederick John Philip Gibson. It is 2023 and Fred again is one of the most popular producers in the world, but not for the reasons you might think. Future is here, sorry for hijacking the video. I have coming show 29th of April in Söder Theater in Stockholm. If you want to attend, reach me on Instagram and I will put your name onto the guest list. See you there. Many think that it was some type of black magic or viral marketing that got Fred again really popular. Little did they know. Fred has been mentored by the legend Brian Eno for more than a decade and regarded as his protege. Protege? I don't know. I forget what I was saying.
I think of Fred as my mentor as well. I learnt so much. It worked both ways around.
I know that Fred has sometimes referred to me as a mentor, but actually it works both ways. What he is doing is quite unfamiliar. I've actually never heard anything quite like this before. Past 10 years, Fred is pulling the strings behind the scenes, and he has been producing for huge artists such as Ed Sheeran, Eminem, Swedish House Mafia, Charlie XCX, George Ezra. The credit list goes wild. The super producers had a hand in 30% of all the UK top hits in 2029, and he won the Producer of the Year at British Awards in 2020. By the way, we are going to soon analyze the album songs and reveal the surprising similarities to another masterpiece album from 16 years ago that propelled its maker to stardom. Coming shortly. Even after all this knowledge, what most people don't know is the masterpiece album actual life almost never happened. Fred decided to make his album because of a surprise call that he received in 2019.
There was something like I needed to make that I wasn't making. By beautiful serendipity, Brian messaged me at the same time. He was like, I'm cleaning my kitchen and I've left all of my iTunes on loop, and every time it goes to a song that I like, I run into the room and I see it's an old sketch of yours, and it was very sweet of him to say that. So he was like, you've got to go back to doing this now.
Wow.
As luck will have it, when Fred again decides to follow his dreams and make his own music, the pandemic hits the world.
A health crisis, national emergency.
The toll of the coronavirus.
A pandemic.
All gatherings have been banned to try and stop the spread of this virus.
We all know pandemic was tough on many people, but for Fred again, it was a turning point. Fred started streaming his own music and helped people who cannot go to their favorite club to dance at their home. And that helped him start to build his own loyal fan base slowly. But the real turning point was his collab track with the Blessed Madonna.
You know, there has been so much loss.
The track was everywhere and it became the unofficial anthem of the pandemic and resonated with millions of people around the globe. This video is sponsored by Perfect Circuit. Perfect Circuit is an independent shop with a top-notch selection of equipment such as synthesizers, pedals and effects, and pro audio gear that ships worldwide. They also make original content, and if you need gear, information, inspiration, check out their channel or blog Signal, as they regularly update with the news and learning resources. So, We Lost Dancing is interesting because in this track we see the house side of Fred again. We have pretty classic house beat, and on top of that we have this signature sampled vocals. Let me show you. We start with 4/4 kick, and then simple off hats, and a groove head, and a classic snare clap. We also have a break on top. And finally, we have the deep pads to create the ambience. And of course, signature sound of Fred again, the speech samples coming from Fred again's conversation with Blessed Madonna.
We've lost dancing.
So you see, simple house beat, nice chords, and of course, these speech vocals, a signature move. Track doesn't change that much. On the chorus part, we are adding this nice arpeggio to give this really almost nostalgic vibe. This relatively simple sound is kind of a brass sound, but it's a bit layered in the original track, but I just made it with the serum. And all the rest is staying still the same. So we are just focusing on single sound to create the mood. And then during the break, the song focuses on the Blessed Madonna's speech. And what Blessed Madonna says makes it really sentimental.
This year we've had to lose our space, we've lost dancing.
Really fresh and interesting. By the way, do you know all these project files that I show on my YouTube? These are available on my Patreon for training. Links in the description. Take a look. If you are enjoying the video up to now, please consider subscribing. It's free, but it helps me ton. It is April 16, 2021, and the world meets actual life. I really wanted to get my life into the songs and try and create a sense of a diary through all the samples of just like things on my phone. Hence, like a diary, the album is full of personal stories and unfiltered, raw emotions. Many of the songs build upon the real-life samples that Fred collected between April 14 to December 17, 2020. This was complete opposite of mainstream music, which often created by team of producers and songwriters and carefully designed. And as we delve deeper into actual life, we discovered that there is actually a backstory that explains the raw emotions that involves heartbreak, loss, and struggle to find meaning with his music. People tell me I made a joyful record, but to me it was devastating. Actual life was impacted by the worsening illness of a very close friend. The song Me is the one that is most about death, but people say it sounds really hopeful. Perhaps I was subconsciously trying to find some sort of positivity, while everything around felt tragic. I dig a little bit deeper into this, and it looks like Fred actually lost a close friend a couple of years before the pandemic. But the things that are even more tragic when Fred fell in love during the pandemic. Unfortunately, his girlfriend got ill, and then she got really ill. Fred mentions a couple of times that he is really insecure with his voice, and that's why he really likes to sample other people around him. But when he talks about the track Me Heavy, the tone changes and he says, but with a track like Me Heavy, it should be weird if I wasn't doing the vocals, because it's such a personal song. And the lyrics of the song goes like this.
I wanna run in there and steal you out. Unplug the wires and kiss your mouth.
At this point, I really stopped digging further because I really wanted to show some respect to Fred and his personal life. I think the only thing that we can hope is
we gon' make it through.
Let's take a closer look at these tracks. Come. The track that we are looking for is Kyle I Found You. The reason we are looking at this one is because this really trademarks the sound of Fred again. The track really opens with ambient sounds and percussions. These percussions are most likely made by hand, as he really likes to do that. If you take a look at here, we first have percussion kick, and then the hand percussions that I call them. And with the most likely mouth hat, it sounds like this. Quite similar to what we see in this video. Probably the most important thing for track is the vocals. And the vocals are coming from a poem that is called Love in the Time of Undead.
I found you. I found you. I found you beautiful. I found you beautiful.
It creates all really nice ambience. And then we have a really simple bass on top. He doesn't complicate the things, and he really focuses on the mood and the emotion in the track.
I found you.
And the final thing that Fred really does is creates this fluid ambience. He sometimes does it with organic instruments. With really few channels, we already get to this beautiful ambience. What it does nicely is combining these unorthodox production techniques into the more modern techniques. So when the song goes on, we actually switch the drums a little bit. Now we have a proper kick, and then just a clap, and then a hat on that. We're kind of building a house beat really, and then percussions on top. And then the bass. This is really a low tempo house beat. The main difference over here is this time Fred starts to sing as well. All these extremely overproduced tracks that we have in popular music. By the way, if you are looking for my samples, presets and courses, it's the last 3 days of our spring sale. Take a look at mercurytones.com. As I get older, I realize just how rare his mind is. You realize that he is operating on a currency far more powerful than music theory. Actual life resonates with me on a deep emotional level, much like raw and powerful emotions conveyed in Burial's 2007 album Untrue. They both are very addictive in a way that they sneak upon you and capture your heart before you even realize it. Both albums are not just about production techniques, but about the essence of humanity and our emotions. As a content creator, I feel guilty not talking about this one more often. While music theory is undeniably powerful, there is something even more profound: the human emotions. Fred was not concerned with scales, chords, or gear. He was simply allowing his emotions to flow through his music, using it as a form of therapy to cope with his grief. The result was a stunningly authentic and relatable piece of art that has resonated with billions of people worldwide. In the end, nothing else mattered but the raw and honest expression of human emotions. If you want to learn more about electronic music, I have tons of videos over here. Take a look. At British Awards. Dang it, awards. Talking 4 different languages really messes up your accent. Anyways,